on. Yes. Oh dear. Where did it go? Okay, there we are. Wonderful. All right then. So lovely to see all of you. And a very warm welcome for today's session. Today's session, the topic being, who are the villains in your life stories, in your life stories. You know, each time, of course, each time I come and I only have few things to say, and I keep saying those few things over and over again. Same four things. Look within, look at what you are feeling, etc., etc. But stories, oh wow, they have so much power to pull us in. Each of these stories that we have going around our lives, they have so much of power to pull us in. And what do I exactly mean by pulling you in? What happens with these stories? You forget that you are playing roles. You forget that, I'm not a mother. I'm not a daughter. I am simply playing the role of a mother. You get sucked into the stories, into the roles. I am not the CEO of a company. I'm simply playing the role of being a CEO of the company. And how much responsibility we take on with all of these roles. And not only we take on the responsibility, it becomes, one story after another. And like every Hindi movie, you have action and drama and comedy and all of the stuff happening. And so for all of the fights that you have to fight, now you need a villain. For all of the fights that you have to fight, for all of the struggles that you have to go through, for all of the, for all of the injustices that you have to come and conquer and be above, and all of that, for that, you need a villain. You need a villain in the story. If all is good, if all is perfect, if all is wonderful, then how will you get the spice? How will you live every day? That's where people sit saying, no, no, we need to fight towards something. We need a goal to fight for. We need something to run after. And from that, from the love of goals, from the love of winning over the other, we create villains in our life. We create villains in our life. A long, long time ago, when my journey had just begun. Now, before this, before the aware journey began, I used to be somebody who was always fighting for some cause or another. Oh boy, some cause or another. I find a cause and I will run with it. Whether it was battered women, or it was child education, or it was, my own life, I will find a cause and I will run for it. Nobody can win an injustice or unequal fight if they are going to have to fight with me. I'm going to fight it tooth and nail to the end to make sure I win in this battle of justice and injustice. So many a times, whether it was a marriage, what we might call a failed marriage, that came up, and then I had to fight for justice over there as well. Or even going to work. At work itself, I found this boss who was really wanting to get into bed with me. And of course, I wasn't willing to do that. And then from that space began this fight because he was very, very influential and I was not. In the bank, he was senior and I was not. And so all of that. But when he was out there trying to do injustice for me, I fought it tooth and nail. I fought the injustices. Many years passed by. Guess what? Oh, I won. I also won. Each of those battles, each of those, I won. Yeah. So I was really patting myself on the back about how amazing it is that I have fought. I have fought for the right thing. I have fought for justice. I have fought for nobody can walk over me. Nobody can put me down. Nobody can do what they want to me. I am going to stand tall and Vijayi Bhava. I am going to be the victorious one. So I won. And then many years passed by, and this aware journey started. So when the aware journey starts, as it has begun for many of you, you look into so many of your emotions. You look into the emotions of sadness and fear. Fear is the one that comes up the most when the journey just begins. And you look at fear and you look at worries, and you are busy releasing them because they are so called in your mind negative emotions. They are the thorns that you carry. They are the things that are pricking you, not letting you live your life in peace, not letting you live in joy every day, because you sit and worry, you're sitting in fear, and you have anxieties and sadness, vagara, vagara, vagara. So these things you are happy to shed. Are Meenal has shown this path as to how to just let go of, let go of worry, let go of fear, and come to the frequency of masti. And so you guys are happily shedding your sadness and your fears, worries, anxieties, anger, lack, etc., etc., etc. So this journey started for me as well, except that a few weeks, months, I don't know what, some years passed by. And then I was empty enough. I was empty enough. And one day, as I was sitting with my register and journaling, because for all of you who I keep telling you, please journal, please journal, please journal every day. I used to journal every single day, and I did that for 9 years non-stop. And people say, no, no, we already get answers. And I say, yeah, do you think I wasn't getting answers? No, I was also getting answers. I still get answers just standing, sitting in my sleep. But whenever something stays with me now, in those days, though, journaling every single day, 5 times in a day. 5 times in a day, just carrying my journal everywhere with me, in my car, in my one room, in my other room. If I notice an emotion, I look at the emotion, observe it, and I'm able to journal it right there and then. Through the journaling, coming up with many, many different layers as well. Oh, at the top of it, it just looked like anger. But underneath the anger, I see expectations, because now I've written it down and I see expectations. Underneath the expectations, I also see fear. So when I'm doing more and more of writing, I can look at it and I get to see layers and layers and layers underneath. And so those layers, I don't have to wait for releasing. I can release and become empty today itself. When you don't journal, yes, these superficial emotions, the first one, will be shown to you and you'll be able to release. But it'll come up again because the underlying machinery, that of expectations or of fear, is yet to be seen by you. So it'll keep coming up again and again. So I was journaling and journaling. And one day, in that middle of the journal, Mani says to me, now drop the roses as well. You've released all the thorns and now drop the roses as well. And I couldn't understand what that meant. I was like, what do you mean roses? So he says, yeah, you've let go of all the defeats. We go back to time and say, okay, I felt a little bit disappointed and I felt failure and I felt defeat and I felt angry. I've released all of that. And Mani says, now time to let go of your roses as well. What? How does that happen? All the places where you felt victorious, let go today. All the places where you felt that you have won, let go today. And I said, Arey, I won with so much effort. I won with so much of, I had to wake up at nights and I had to think about it and I had to gather my strength and my courage to fight it. And with all of that courage and strength, I won. And so, how can I let that go? Those are the medals in my life. Those are the stories of my life that carry the medals where I go, well done, Meenal, you won. And that is where I felt good. And so Mani said to me, yes, you felt good in those moments because you defeated another. And you defeated the so-called villain in your story. That was the villain in your story, and you had to defeat them. But because you feel joy only at defeating, only at proving yourself to be better than the other, the universe has to keep creating these villains for you. The universe keeps creating these villains because you want to win them over. And yes, your energy is of abundance, so win you will. You will win because your energy is so much of abundance that that is going to happen. However, as that happens, what is it that you are creating some more of? You are creating separation from the one that you have won against. And then in that separation, the universe keeps creating more and more such stories for you so that you can struggle and win, and struggle and win. Now, here, you might, if you are not holding the frequencies of abundance, you might struggle and lose. And struggle and lose, just as I struggled and won, and you struggle and lose. And your experience might be struggle and lose, but then that is easier to let go of because you are ready to let go of your defeats and feel better about your defeats. It's those victories that you think belong to you that you hang on to them, you clutch on to them, because not understanding that whether it's a victory or a defeat, it came from struggle. And struggle is the opposite of ease and grace. So no matter what you're struggling with, you will have to find a villain. That villain could be a person. That villain could be an event, could be a situation. It could be just your state of the mind. But if you are classifying something as a villain, mind you, the last thing that I said was it could be just your state of mind. And we'll come to that too. But if you think it's a villain, then you've let go. You have to let go of this word called villain. This villain was created by you in your energies because you are so married, you are so tied into victories. And then victory over what? Victory over the evil, no? We don't say it has to be victory over the good. We are happy that it's victory over the evil. So evil, the villain, has to be found. And he has to be there as a part of your story because that's what then you will be victorious over. But even as you are looking at victory, please know now that we look at the energies, the victory is all in separation. There's a party out there, and then there is you. There is somebody out there who's working the opposite side, and then there is you. There's a part of you that you hate, you don't like, and then there is you. Even that part of you that you don't like, what is that story? Only villain. So in that case, the villain might just be you. When many of us, and I'll explain this last part a little bit, when many of us go through, so many emotions and life filled with fear or hate, many of us don't like ourselves. Many of us don't like ourselves. You're like, I have too much anger, or, I spent so many years being depressed, or I have this condition and, I don't like who I am when I'm going through that condition. I don't like my depressed state. I don't like my angry state. I don't like my manic state. And we are therefore tied into a villain, this time being just ourselves. And so even over there, when we don't like parts of ourselves, it doesn't have to be anybody out there who's the villain. The villain can just be you, because the villain exists in the mind. The definition of a villain being something that you got to fight against. That's the villain. The one that you've got to fight against and you've got to win. So many times when people have a disease, for example, let's say cancer, they're like, I'm winning. I'm winning in this disease against cancer. I'm winning. And when they come from that place of I won, maybe they'll go through the cancer and maybe they will come out with, okay, the treatment worked. And so now we no longer have cancer. I won. Can you see that within the body, it was just your cells? It was your cells that started to multiply. And now those cells that are multiplying in your body are now the villain. And now you're fighting against those villains. Who are they? They're cells of your body. What happened? What happened for your cells of the body to suddenly take on this villain role all the times when we take on, when somebody, the injustice, the struggle that we have to fight with, we have to struggle through something. That energy of struggle is what is creating, is what is popping up. What is popping up? A villain for us. So when we look at the villain, first of all, the first thing that we need to do is to come with love. To come with love. Because whoever that villain is, what are they out there doing? They're creating struggle for us. Guess whose energy it is of struggle? Well, the energy belongs to us. Whose need is it to win? That need to win belongs to us. And by now, anybody who has heard me 10 times over, they know that the need is simply coming from a place of lack. From a place of lack. Every need that you hold, even this need to win, is coming from a place of lack. I need to prove myself. I need to validate my existence. I need to show that I am strong. I need to be strong because I cannot be weak. In front of the villain, I cannot be weak. I must stand tall. I must stand for the injustice that is happening. Now, whether the injustice is outside or inside, it is what you quantify as injustice. And what does this very idea of injustice do to you? Sometimes it will put you into fear, sometimes into worry, many times into anger. Why me? Why do I have to go through this? In office, everybody's having such a good time. Why do I have to get stuck with this bad boss who doesn't listen to me, who doesn't do anything to me? Why me? And so you feel this anger of being chosen as the wrong party. Yeah, the Cancer has chosen you. Why me? Why you? Because the struggle is manifesting. It is always our frequency that is creating anything and everything in our body. Anything and everything in our body. Anything and everything on the outside. It is our energy. Sometimes we are in the roles and we get to see, and sometimes we are in the place of creation, so we get to witness. Rather, we don't get to witness till we are aware, but we get to experience. And through the experience, every now and then, an aha moment will come, and then you will recognize that, I am the creator. I created all of this. My energy is the creator. It's not an outsider. So many times when there is a, what is it called? Cancer of the lungs, people are like, oh, this is secondhand smoking and my husband smokes all the time. And so I got this cancer. Well, cancer cannot be created. Your cells cannot multiply unless you have given them enough machinery to work with. And so what is that machinery from where this happens? Let me just see who is on unmute, and let me just put everybody on mute now. Naval. Okay. All right. So the cancer has happened because of somebody smoking. No, you held so much of fear. You held so much of fear, not necessarily for cancer, but you held so much of fear that that machinery is going to create these conditions for you. Your machinery of struggle. So many people these days who come to me with autoimmune disease, anything that, no, my body is fighting itself. Your body is fighting itself from where? What has created this enemy, not even far out, but within your body? What has created this struggle that now you got to go through every single day with this cancer, autoimmune disease, or even these other conditions that you might have, depression and schizophrenia, or every, I forget, the bipolar. And so all of these conditions, yes, they are manifestations. They are absolute manifestations of your own energy. And when you hold that energy of struggle, the outside might look like a struggle, or it might just come closer. And then everyday living might be a struggle for you. But please to understand that the energy of struggle is completely the opposite of the energy of ease and grace. And so, what is it that we have to look into? Where all have we created situations for ourselves or thoughts for ourselves? I am going to win this battle. I am going to win this and I'm going to come out, whatever, victorious. Because to understand that death is not a battle, death is eventuality. Battle would be where you have a chance of winning and a chance of losing. This is the ultimate eventuality for all of us. And yet, we are fighting death every moment. We are fighting death every moment. And then the more we fight it, the more it keeps showing up on a daily basis. On a daily basis. All of us are not witnessing death on a daily basis. But when we have so much of fear, so much of struggle towards death, from death, it's going to show up more and more in our lives from this place. It's the villain, it's the enemy. And now you've got to win over the enemy. So, by hating the enemy, can you win the enemy? Well. So here we go in the energy place. What is the ultimate power that you have? The ultimate power is not of hate and of killing, but the ultimate power is of love and accepting. Whether it is an outside situation where you found a villain in your story, as I had so many villains in stories. This boss of mine who wants to go to bed with me, this husband of mine who wants to take money from me. All of those stories that I was living many years ago, I didn't understand them then. I didn't understand them because the finger was on the outside. I had no idea that it was my energy creating all of these circumstances. And then, because the energy was of abundance, therefore winning. And by the winning, now I got attached to those victories. And that's when money said to me, please let go of your victories. Let go of the roses as you let go of the thorns. They're both just simply experiences. The more we tie ourselves to victories, it still means that the universe has to find a loser for me and bring him to my universe. And then, as I feel more and more joy in seeing somebody lose, the more separation I'm creating. Now that I understand there is nothing outside and all of it is me only, who is the separation from? Nobody else. The separation is also from me only. That part of me which loses, I don't like that. I don't accept that. I like the part that wins. And the one is victorious. I want to keep creating more and more of that. So in this moment, to be able to accept, on days I will experience winning, and on days I will experience losing. And both of them are simply experiences. On days I will experience joy. On days I might even experience joylessness. And both of them are simply experiences. And to come from the place that either winning or losing, it's not the end of the world, and it's definitely not the end of your energy. So what is it that you are going to carry with you tomorrow? As you lose today, you might lose today. What are you going to carry? Here are the choices in an awareness. You lose something and you sit in so much of disappointment and so much of rona dhona and sadness. Oh my God, how could this happen to me? Disappointment, disillusionment, failure, all of that. Guess what? That's the experience for today that your energy asked for. And from this experience, are you going to hang around here and create more of the same? Is a choice. It's just a choice because it's just an experience. And so tomorrow, what are you going to create for yourself? Or letting go of this and coming back to, I love the part that loses and I love the part that wins. I give unconditional love to both parts of me. That person who just lost a battle, to me, is me only. So I give love to him. And this part of me that just won, because you will win. sometimes in the strangest of places, not even recognizing where you won, but you will win. And then you'll be like, wow, array, this was good. However, now to understand that this is just simply an experience of the day. This moment is a victory. Tomorrow, it might not be. We look at elections. We look at elections, and elections are being fought in the world with so much of energy and so much of, oh, this person is wrong and this person is right, and this person should not get elected, and this person is the right person, the right candidate for this position. This person is not. So we look at all of these victories and failures. And then many of the people, oh my God, this was so cute, because we, we were in the US and Trump had just won. And we were visiting a family and they had little children. Now, the parents were both, not for Trump. And they had been telling the children that, oh, he is such a bad man and he's such a bad man. And if he wins, then this will happen, that will happen. And it's not good for the country. The country will break apart. All of this stuff they had been telling their children, thinking that, of course, Trump is not going to win. On the day Trump won, the children were tiny. One of them came down crying, saying, oh my God, the world is coming to an end because Trump won. And they didn't know what to say to him. But the child, or so we think, that child is just a child, but the child who's 1,000,000 years old has chosen for himself to experience extreme fear and extreme hate. And that is what is happening in that moment, that experience of defeat, because he's crying from defeat. It's a personal defeat for that little child who is many, 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 many souls old, many, many years old, is energy, and has come to experience disillusionment, disappointment to the highest level. Has life come to an end for most of us because of one victory or not? No, never does that happen. Even when we go through one victory, tomorrow is another day. Guess what that might bring? More of the same or some defeat. As we go through these, the aware one is going to simply keep witnessing, and the unaware one is going to experience that emotion for a long, long time. The only separation, or rather the only difference between aware and unaware, is it's not that the both of them are not going to experience disappointment, but one will experience for a long time. And one will simply be able to look at their experience of disappointment and say, sitting in disappointment today, that must be what my energies chose. That must be what my energies hold. All right, then, I'm going to use this opportunity to release my frequency of disappointment. And from that place, that villain that you hold in your life, and for that matter, that little baby who was holding Trump as the villain, what would he do if he was an aware one? He would simply just look at the villain and say, thank you for showing me all the disappointment that I hold in me. Thank you for showing me all the disillusionment, this failure, this feeling of failure that I hold in me, that you have helped me bring out. It doesn't need to be that we know the people. No, we create emotions from stories that we hear on the outside, and we create villains in our minds. Why are we creating those villains at all times? Same story. We wish to struggle. We wish to win. We are so attached to the victories of win that we haven't accepted that part of us who is also all about losing. It's all about losing and all about winning. And both of these simply just being experiences for us. So that's the story on victories. The whole idea being that a victory or a defeat, the villain that you have outside over there, no matter who have you put your finger on as the villain in your story, the only way to understand it is you wrote the script. You wrote the script. You are the writer of the script in every moment. And so all this while you didn't know and the script has been continuing, that's perfectly fine. This moment, now, in the now, can become your moment of changing the script. And to change the script, The first part to understand is if you are coming from hate towards the villain, then it's not hate towards a villain, it's the hate that you hold. And who is that hate acting out for? For you only. That's your frequency. And so for every villain, this time releasing the hate a little bit more, and moving towards love. Because the more you move towards love, who is that love for? Towards you only. So each time when you look at somebody on the outside and the finger goes squarely on them, that they are the ones who are ruining my life, well, guess what? They're simply playing out a script. And that script, the writer, director, editor, producer, blah, 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 blah. Main role, everybody is right here, you. You are that person. And as you look at all the people around you that you so dislike or that you hate, each time now, when you become aware that they are saying something that is making you triggered, understand that this is your frequency that has come to be released today. It has come to be released. When your disease gets you triggered, it's your frequency of struggle that is being shown to you. And in this moment, either release it or grow it. The minute you decide that you're going to fight it, well, it's a losing battle. And as you go through the losing battle, accept that yes, you are the winner and you are the loser too. You are the loser. You're never going to win this battle against death because it's not a battle. It's not. It's just your breath. It came here for a certain purpose. It came here for a certain time. It's just your breath. It's going to leave one day, whether you like it or you don't, whether you fight it or you don't. And so when you fight, you're simply creating separation with yourself. And when you don't fight and you allow, that's where love happens. So people would say, if I have to allow cancer, if I have to allow all of this disease, I cannot even do anything. Should I even not take the medicine? You know my answer to that. The medicine is not where my focus is. Take the medicine, don't take the medicine. Take half the medicine, take 5 times the medicine. That's not where the focus is. With what energy are you taking the medicine? If you're taking the medicine, being in a treatment from the energies of, okay, the universe is showing me this as the answer today. This is what I'm grateful for today. That's where the medicine goes, with gratefulness with it. If you're going to take the medicine with, oh God, I cannot leave this medicine even for a day, because the day I don't take this medicine, this is so bad. I feel so terrible. My body gives up. This happens, that happens. Now you're fearful of the consequences, that when you don't take the medicine, what the consequences are going to be. You're fearful of the consequences of not taking the medicine. So in that moment, I would say, let go of the fear. Let go of the fear. And then, oh my God, my life is filled with medicines, and every single day I have to take so many medicines. Why is it that I'm not able to live a normal life and no other person has to take the medicine? Now you're angry with your medicine. The same medicine that you're taking so that you can feel better, you're also experiencing anger towards those medicines. Oh, these medicines have so much steroids in them and they have so many harmful effects. Now you're fearful of the very medicines that you're taking. So look into the frequency with which you take the medicine. Ask money, ask in guidance what you need to do with the medicine. He might say, stop taking it. And as soon as he says, stop taking it, and tomorrow you're totally unwell. And you'd be like, faltu hi money ko pucha, because look, as soon as he said, uska kya jata hai? Money is not going to bother. Now I can't even breathe. I'm having problems living. And let me run back to the medicine. Well, when money says something in guidance, it's not towards an action. It is also towards what frequency are you receiving when you sit in the frequency of guidance? What frequency do you tune into when the guidance says something to you? And when the guidance puts you in fear, mind you, you are not in guidance frequency in that moment. you are in fear frequency. And so the job is not to follow the guidance to the T, but to look within it, into your emotion. In that moment, firstly, what is this guidance itself creating in me? The guidance is creating fear, then look into your fear. That's where the work of the guidance is. So always do not be looking outside at the villains in your story, but using this beautiful opportunity that the villain has shown you to be to be looking within and to be able to let go of those emotions that you feel for the villain. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm laughing because I'm just simply looking at the story of Ramayana. And how many villains did Ram create for himself? Again and again, how many villains in the stories did Ram create for himself, starting from a mother figure and then moving into the marriage field where created more, somebody ran away with the wife, so villain had to be fought all through and through. And then even when he comes comes back to the comes back to his own kingdom, and then the villain is the barber. And then that fellow becomes the villain in his life story, and Ram is never able to live a moment of peace. So, to understand that who are we if not that Ram? Each of us is Ram, because Ram was the incarnate of Vishnu. But when he was in this life, what did he have to go through? All of this stuff. Because as an incarnate, as a human, he took birth to go through these experiences. The same story runs for us as incarnates of the same God, the same source, but we are incarnated in the human form. So we have to go the same stories of struggle, the same stories of winning over a villain. So winning over a villain is where we are focused on the outside. But now when the energies turn inwards, now we become not just the Ram in the incarnate form, but Vishnu. We become the source ourselves, and Vishnu, from where he sits, he's able to look into everything and change everything because he is the creator, the destroyer, the transformer. All of those, us only. We are the ones, and the only place that we have to look into is if the eyes are outside, then we live the human experience with villains on the outside. When the eyes are inside, then we live the godly experience with the creation on our side. We are the creators of all that is. That's the talk for today. Anybody has any questions? Let's see what people have been writing on the chat group. Okay. Happy to see you. Happy, happy, happy. Thank you. Wonderful. All right, then. Many aha moments for people. So does anybody have any questions? Anyone wants to ask me something? Please put your hand up or write to me on the chat right now. You can put your hand up, talk to me if you have any questions about this topic or about any topic. My answers remain the same. Nothing new to add. Only within to look. Anybody wishes to speak? No? All good? Okay, then. We've been through this experience so many times in so many different ways. We just keep looking at people around us who are triggers, 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 and triggers might be in so many different ways. That is the reason why no questions left. Okay. No, people still have questions. When they're sitting in the question frequency, they have questions. When they're sitting in the answer frequency, they have answers. Even this question and answer is simply a game. It's just a game of the frequency that you are sitting in. So cute. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And focus on this word, the word called hate. hate. Hate, ghrina. The word ghrina, hate. And now put all your focus on your own body. Put your focus on your body. And ask your body in this moment, where are you holding the hate? In which part of the body is this hate right now sitting in? You might receive an answer for a body part, or you might not. You might be blank as to which part. But it might be that you have pinpointed the hate in a part of a body. So be with that information. And now, focus on the word mistrust. Mistrust. The word mistrust. Not trusting something, someone on the outside. That villain you absolutely don't trust. And so ask yourself the same question. Where in the body right now am I holding that mistrust? Where in my body in this moment am I holding mistrust? Which part of my body is holding that mistrust? Whatever answer comes to you, simply be aware, be in this information. If no answer has come to you, that's wonderful, but know that hate is simply a frequency. Mistrust is simply a frequency. And so it's a part of your energy field. Just as everything is a part of your energy field, all your emotions, these two, the hate and mistrust, are a part of your energy field too. Maybe they're not in the body today, in this moment, but they're there. And so acknowledging that they're just a frequency and they are a part of your energy field. For those who've received answers to a body part, whichever the body part might be, any body part that you can reach, that you can be with, simply in the now saying, thank you for being the holder of this frequency of hate. To the body part that's holding the mistrust, thank you for being the holder of my frequencies of mistrust. And in the energies, all the energies that are there, thank you for all the experiences of hate and mistrust that I have gone through. Thank you for all the experiences that I have gone through, which are centered on these frequencies. I was meant to go through those experiences. I had chosen those experiences for myself. I wanted those experiences, and so thank you for giving them to me. The outside villains that right now are the reflections of your hate and mistrust. These outside reflections that might be in your life right now, and they are the reflectors of your energies of hate and mistrust. To those reflections, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for creating those struggles for me. I thought I didn't want struggles, but my frequencies did wish to experience struggle. and you created them for me. So thank you. I was tied into the ideas of victories and defeats, and so you had to create those experiences for me. For those experiences, I thank you. I wish to experience separation, sitting in hate and in mistrust. And for all of those experiences of separation, I thank you. You played your parts beautifully, and you might continue to play them as well. Again, a little bit more. But in this moment, I turn my finger within. In this moment, I know that I am the creator. In this moment, I know that this is my creation, mine. You simply had a role to play. And so in this moment, I choose to shift. In this moment, I choose to shift. In this moment, I choose to shift. I am Meenal. I am Meenal. In the energies of love for the self, I am Meenal. In the energies of ease and grace, I am Meenal. In the energies of complete trust and faith of myself, I am Meenal. Open to all experiences, not afraid of victories, not afraid of defeat. I am Meenal. Knowing that no matter what the experience outside is, I can bring myself back to Masti because I am Meenal. Hugging those parts of you again, the ones that hold the mistrust, the ones that hold the hate. Hugging them right now, watching those frequencies be released in the now. In the now, in this moment, those frequencies being released. In this moment, you are Meenal. You are Meenal. The eyes are looking within. The finger has gone within. The story is all filled with love. The villain, no one. All just helpers to help you get your finger within. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. Okay, everyone, and lots of love to all of you, and see you guys another time.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Ma, so much.
Bye, everyone.
See you on 4th.
Thank you,
Thank
Vinal.
you so much. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Ma.
the love.